Hi there. Welcome to the assembly of your memo holder, putting the plastic on the wood and putting the memo holder on the whole thing to end up with your finished product. So what we're going to do today is show you how to put the plastic onto your wood, how to prepare your plastic for that, how to hammer the nails in order to fasten that on, and then finally how to put the clip onto the piece of wood, onto your finished product, get it turned in, get it marked. So before we start, what you need to know is where the stuff is. So on our tool panel right here, this is where you're going to find everything that you need in order to do your final step. So you're going to need one of these hammers like this. This is a woodworking hammer as opposed to one of the other ones that you see, which is for metalworking. You're going to need a Phillips head screwdriver, which is the star type screwdriver. Proper name is a Phillips. You're going to need small nails. These are just in a Tic Tac container. Don't eat them. Just small brass nails, and that's what you're going to need. You're also going to need a cordless drill, which are up here on the wall, and a proper drill bit in it. So I've got them all set up over on the workbench, so let's go. Welcome to the workbench. So now what we're going to end up doing is preparing the plastic. So unlike a piece of wood, we can't just drive a nail into a piece of plastic. If we do, it's going to crack because there's no give in plastic whatsoever. So I have spent a tremendous amount of time working and sanding my pieces of wood here. I have a beautiful rectangle and I've got a lovely L-shaped piece of plastic. So when I look at this, I'm going to need to figure out how many nails to put in. I think I'll probably put, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5. Mark with a pencil or a pen. This is plexiglass. You can tell what color it is by the edge. I've got a green one right here. And what we're going to do is leave this paper covering on. Sometimes there is a plastic coating. Make sure you leave that plastic coating on as well. If there's no coating at all, what you can do is just cover it with masking tape and then draw on that, peel it off when you're ready to go. So I'm just going to take my pen and mark where to put this. Don't put them too close to the edges, again, because it may break. So I have made 4 small marks. You can see I've got 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom, and an extra one here, ready to drill the hole. So the first bit that I'm going to use, this is a 1/16 inch drill bit. It's small, it's the smallest one that we have here. And when you go to use this, when you look at the drill this way, and I pull the trigger, it should be turning in a clockwise direction. If it's not, it's going backwards. It won't drill backwards. I've got a scrap piece of wood here on the counter. Here's my scrap piece. Never drill into your final product, only drill into your scrap piece right here. So take your drill, pull the trigger. There's also a little arrow marked. I don't know if you're going to be able to catch it here, but there's a little arrow right here that there we are, that indicates forward, and that tells you that it's going in the right direction. If it's going backwards, you just push the little black button and they slide through. So taking my drill, holding it upright, place it on the hole, pull the trigger, go straight down, straight up in each of those holes. Now be careful, when you go down, don't stop. Keep it going as you go down, keep it going as you pull it back up. Sometimes what people will do is they go down in and then they bend the drill to bring it back out. You can't do that. If you do, you risk snapping the bit. If that happens, get the teacher to get a new bit for you. So I have my holes drilled. I'm going to need to now fasten it onto my wood. So now, and only now, after the edges are all sanded and everything else, do you take and peel the paper coating off. Paper coating comes off. It is the very last thing you do before you assemble things. It should come off relatively easily. If it doesn't, you might have to work a little harder at it. Okay. So now I have my plastic ready to go. I'm going to take my nails. Please don't spill them. Take only what you need. Another one there. Now with the hammer, this happens to be an 8-ounce hammer. It's not a heavy hammer, but hammers all work the same way. It's the head of the hammer that does the work. So make sure that you're holding on to the handle. If you're holding up here, you're going to have to use your whole arm in order to go tap, 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 tap in order to pound the nail in. If you grab hold of the handle, every time you swing the hammer, it's the weight of the head that's doing the work. So I should be able to pound it in, fasten it in just a couple of steps. So I push that into position. I can actually take my fingers, push that nail down in tight, and what I'm going to do is, there we go, 3. Let's see if we can zoom in. I'm just going to zoom in here so you can see a little bit better what I'm going to be doing. There we go. Bring this a little closer, like that. So put your nail in place, a couple of taps to get it started. Hold on to the handle. Don't push too hard or don't hit it too hard or you risk cracking the plastic. And the reason I said not to hold it at the handle is if you don't, notice it's only taking me a couple of hits to put that in. If I hold it up here, you're going to be pounding for a while. So hold it at the end. Done. I'm going to zoom back out so you can see what we have done. So there we are. We now have the plastic fastened onto the wood. Isn't this gorgeous? And we're now ready to go to the next step. The next step is to fasten the clip onto your piece of wood. Now the clip just comes in a bag. This is what it looks like. It's made up of 2 parts. We have a bolt on this end and we have the clip here. So I just undo the bolt and I'm going to take and I need to put it through my wood. So in order to do that, I need to first drill a hole. Figure out where you want that hole to go and you're going to drill that hole right through from the front. Okay? Very important that you follow this step. Go through from the front. So again, putting it on a scrap piece of wood. This bit I've already got set up for you. Okay, I'm going to pull the trigger, make sure it's going in the right direction. I'm going to drill a hole from the front and it's going right here. All the way through. Now this is a beautiful hole. Notice all the way through. Okay, we've got it front and back. But when I take this bolt and try and put it through here, you will notice A, it's protruding from the back, and B, it doesn't come through the front. So in order to solve this, I need to do what's called a countersink. So I need to make a hole a little bit bigger from the back, sunk down into the wood for the head of that bolt. So I'm going to do that with the drill press. My drill press is set up here, ready to go. I have got the right size drill bit in. It happens to be a 3/8 inch bit that I have set in, and this is a Forstner bit. The Forstner bit looks something like this. The one that's on there is much smaller. It produces a nice flat bottomed hole with just a small little dimple in the top, as opposed to a regular twist bit which provides a V at the end. So we want to use a Forstner bit. It makes it just a little nicer to work with and a little smoother hole in the back. To turn this particular machine on, we're going to flip this switch up. This one has a keyless chuck, and again, we've got this set up already in here. Make sure you've got safety protection on. These are safety glasses, so make sure you have your safety glasses. We also have the face shields hanging up in front of the machines for you to wear. For the purpose of this video, I'm not wearing the face shield because it muffles my voice too much. Make sure you have a scrap piece of wood underneath where you're drilling, we don't want to drill into the table. This handle right here is called a quill feed. It pushes the drill bit down into the wood. So I'm going to line it up, and this time I'm doing it from the back. Okay? Notice I drilled from the front with the smaller hole. I'm now drilling from the back with the bigger hole. So I'm going to hold that into position. Make sure you're holding it tight. Make sure that you have control of your wood at all times. Turn it on. Grab the top handle. So I've moved back to the workbench. I'm going to take my piece of wood, I'm going to take my screwdriver, I'm going to take my bit or my clip, and put them all together. So all I need to do, and you could get a friend to help you with this, put the bit or the screwdriver into the back, okay, like so. And twist on, okay, turn the screwdriver to fasten the top in place. Okay, so there we go. Get it in the position you want, use your screwdriver, and just tighten it up a little bit better here in the back. Okay, so there we go. And now I'm all finished. Now what you need to do is fill out your evaluation sheet. Let me just show you that quickly. So your memo holder evaluation sheet, it's just this one. It's found in the rack above the computer. Notice at the top it does say Memo Holder Challenge. So what you're going to do is just basically fill this in. The front section is for you. Make sure that on this part you do fill in your evaluation of your project. I want you to determine whether you think this is worth 5 up to 20 points. Then down in the bottom you've got 4 questions to answer. So make sure that these 4 questions are all answered really well. I want to know why you chose the design that you did. I want to know what you liked most about the finished product, what you would do differently. And then finally, I want to know 3 things that you learned while you made this project. Please don't put, I learned how to make a memo holder, because that's irrelevant. What did you learn in the process of making the memo holder? So there you go, and then you're going to turn this in and I will mark the back of it. You can see what I'm looking for. So I hope that answers all of your questions. Feel free to rewatch this video if you need to. We will see you in class. Bye-bye.